Hello everyone and welcome to episode 42 of my Guild Wars 2 series. Today should be a pretty fun episode because we are going to start chapter 4 of the personal story, where we are starting the first chapter of Act 2 of the Guild Wars 2 personal story, where we are going to be interacting with the Orders of Tyria, and today we are going to be entering the capital city of Central Tyria of Lion's Arch. So let's go ahead and check our mail here, where we have just a letter for a dungeon and then some salutations for completing Gandarian Fields that I missed from last episode. And speaking of Gandarian Fields, we can go ahead and open our map and waypoint over there because we are going to head to Lion's Arch, which is just south of Gandarian Fields. So let's go ahead and head there now. And here's the entrance to Lion's Arch right here in Gandarian Fields. There are multiple entrances, 3 to be exact, I believe right now, to be able to enter Lion's Arch from 3 different points in the Road of Tyria. And we have seen throughout all of our adventures here at the start of Guild Wars 2, we have seen the Lion Guard and all the havens, and we have seen the road to Lion's Arch that goes from Ascalon through the Shiver Peaks and from the Maguma Jungle through Kryda, and it all leads here to this point, to Lion's Arch. So let's go ahead and come through here and begin looking at this really cool capital city. And upon loading into Lion's Arch, we can see the city out here in front of us. So let's go ahead and grab the first waypoint right here. And I think most of our exploration in this city I'm actually going to do next episode. We're just going to hang out here for a little bit while we do the story. But there is a ton of stuff to do in this city, including 3 jumping puzzles as well as some other things. So I think next episode I'll dedicate to that as well as some other things. But in this episode, we're going to go ahead and do the story. And I want to take a quick moment to say that this is the second version of Lion's Arch that we see in Guild Wars 2, and it's actually like the 3rd version of Lion's Arch we've seen in the Guild Wars franchise, and there's been multiple versions in the lore, of course. But with this being the 2nd version of Lion's Arch, which was introduced 3 years after the game started, of course the personal story was introduced when the game started, so we in our story missions are going to be seeing the first original version of Lion's Arch. So it's going to look a little bit different than this one, and a little bit is a bit of an understatement. But let's go ahead and load into our story mission right here, which is kind of invisible on our screen, and let's get started with setting the stage. So we have the members of Destiny's Edge right here. Of course, Logan Thackeray is our companion throughout the first part of the personal story, as is all the other ones for each of the races that we have played through. And here we are in the older version of Lion's Arch, which is definitely a little bit different than what we were just in. And we can go ahead and speak with our friend Logan Thackeray, because we know that all of the members of Destiny's Edge are meeting here in Lion's Arch at the Central Plaza right here. So we can go ahead and chat with him and see what he thinks about everything that is going on right now. And he says, "I'm not sure I trust Kate's motives. Stay close. I doubt it's an ambush, Logan. Let's just see what she has to say." So we have Kaith right here, we have Logan, we have Redlock Brimstone, heirs to Galkin with Garm, and Zoja.
Welcome, fellow members of Destiny's Edge. We must speak of the threat of the Elder Dragons.
When I agreed to come, I didn't know you'd be inviting this charr.
I could say the same for you, human. Finally crawling back for forgiveness, Logan.
I've done nothing that needs to be forgiven.
Logan, Ritlock, enough of your squabbling. Kaith, I doubt that we can unite again. Not after our last mistake.
The Norn's right. When heirs to Galkin makes mistakes, people die.
Is that what you think, Zoja? That what happened was my fault?
Please, all of you, our time has come. We must help the Orders. We've fought the Elder Dragons before.
And lost. Because someone couldn't keep up with us.
You have something to say it to my face.
I would if you weren't always running away. I should gut you and be done with it.
Gut me? With what? That human-made sword you looted from Ascalon? I've had enough. We're done here.
Running away again.
Ritlock, you're just making it worse.
Ha! Look who's talking! Logan's right, for once. I have more important things to do. I'm done with this.
And I refuse to waste my efforts on cowards and fools. Goodbye, Keith.
It's sad to see Logan and Ritlock argue. If only there was something to bond them together. Yes, I know it might help. Keith, I have to leave as well. I fear this meeting was a mistake, but maybe I can fix it.
We failed, then. Failed to bring Destiny's Edge back together. We cannot help the others. How can we help Tyria?
So it looks like this meeting did not go as planned for Keith, and it seems like the members of Destiny's Edge kind of blame each other for what happened in the book Edge of Destiny. But let's go ahead and talk with Logan in the aftermath of this, and he says that foolish, arrogant, mule-headed charr, does he think I wanted this? I was a fool to come here, a fool to think I could make this work. You can say, you're not a fool, Logan. This is the only way. Without Destiny's Edge, Kryta will be destroyed by the dragons. We can't do it alone. And he says, I know that. I knew Ritlock was angry. Air, Zojja, all of them. But don't they see that the choice I made was hard on me too? And then we can say you had to choose between the woman you love, the Queen of Kryta, or your guild. You did the best you could. And time? And Logan says, time is the one thing we don't have, my friend. But you're right. I think I need to take some time to cool off. I'll contact you soon. Then we can say, don't give up, Logan. Tyrion needs you. We all do. And we see the members of Destiny's Edge are scattering now, and we just got a black line chest key, which is nice. And we also just leveled up to level 44, I believe, so we can get this reward here. And now we have our next mission here, where the members of Destiny's Edge are now going to scatter off in the world, and we're going to see a new storyline going on in Guild Wars 2 that coincides with the personal story, and that is the dungeon storyline, where there are 8, kind of 7, kind of 8 dungeons in the game, and we are going to be going through all of those, and we are going to be learning more about Destiny's Edge, and we'll see that story unfold. But as far as the personal story goes, let's go ahead and meet our order. So we just got a letter from Forgo, rendezvous at Vigil Keep. Recruit, General Almora's Soulkeeper has issued orders to rendezvous at the Vigil headquarters in Lion's Arch. There, I'll brief you on the directives for your first mission, assisting me with the difficulty at the Fortress of Ebonhawk. The General has taken a personal interest in you. I trust you'll live up to our expectations. Welcome to the Vigil, War Master Forgo Kernson. So, let's go ahead and mount up on our Raptor, and let's go ahead and report to Almora and Forgo at Fort Mariner, which is located here in Lion's Arch, but it's on the southern end, so we can just run through the city a little bit, and we can come across a very great bridge, and a very cool looking bridge. Let's go ahead and grab this waypoint really quickly, since it's right here, and then let's load up into this story mission. The story mission called Meeting My Mentor. So here we are at Mariner Keep, and let's go ahead and just run all the way over here, just give myself some swiftness, and then we can see that we have to come into like this barracks area over here and report to Almora's Soulkeeper, who is the leader of the Vigil and the founder of the Vigil. And I made a really cool story video about her, but it kind of spoils like the entire game, but I'll throw it down in the description. But let's go ahead and meet with her.
Thank you for the warning, General Soulkeeper. I will make sure Queen Jenna receives your news, but I cannot make any promises. The Ebonhawk Treaty is Kryta's only hope for peace with the Charr. We cannot withdraw our negotiators, no matter the risk.
With all due respect, Ambassador, it's a damn fool decision.
That's enough, War Master. Thank you, Lady Versa. The Vigil will do our best to keep everyone safe.
So we have an ambassador here with a bunch of Seraph, and then we have Almora's Soulkeeper and Forgo Kernson, our mentor in the Vigil. Let's go ahead and chat with Almora, and she says, who might you be, soldier? And I can say, I'm Athos of Lomehurst, ma'am, a new recruit reporting for duty.
6 years ago, a dragon rose in Ascalon. It flew south, killing and corrupting everything in its path. I stood beneath the dragon as it passed overhead. I survived, where others did not. All across Tyria, I found others who told of destruction caused by the dragons. Humans in Silvara, battling undead that swarmed their shores. A surge driven from their underground cities. Joining together, we gave birth to a mighty organization, the Vigil. We're proud that you have chosen to serve alongside us. Your mentor will be Forward, one of our finest soldiers and the most stalwart Norn I know. He'll teach you to fight with the Vigil. The Vigil was created to fight the dragons, to destroy them before they destroy us. Some must fight so that all may be free. Welcome to the Vigil.
So some must fight so all may be free is the motto of the Vigil, and then we can chat with Forgo and Almora right here.
My name is Almora Soulkeeper. I founded this order. I'm its general until I die in battle, or they find someone better. Your representative sent me a letter saying that you were the best they'd ever seen. I look forward to seeing you prove that.
I'll do my best, General. I'm dedicated to fighting the dragons. Just show me where to fight.
Huh. I like you already, recruit. I've assigned you to War Master Forgal Kernson for training.
Look here, young one. I don't care what you've done in the past. The Vigil needs heroes, not tale-tellers. It's what you do today, not yesterday, that matters to me. Understood?
Yes, War Master.
If you give each other a chance, I think you'll get along just fine. Now to business. Renegades are threatening the treaty negotiations between Kryta and the Iron Legion. The Vigil needs to ensure that the treaty goes through. Those two nations need to be fighting the dragons, not each other. You'll be dealing with Commander Samuelson, leader of the Ebon Vanguard and avid treaty supporter. Head to Ebonhawk and stop those renegades.
So we have our first mission here as a member of the Vigil, so let's go ahead and return to where we just were at the start of this episode at Ebonhawk. So let's head there now. And it looks like the start of our story mission here is actually in Divinity's Reach, where we have to come to the Ashura Gate right here, and I'm having issues loading in right now. I guess my computer is lagging a little bit, but we can enter the story mission right here and start a fragile peace. Loading in, we have Forgo Kernson right here.
Don't let the renegades escape.
Commander Samuelson, and it looks like some stuff is on fire, so let's go ahead and meet with Samuelson and see what is going on right now.
Welcome to Ebonhawk, recruit. By Raven's wings, what in the mists is happening here?
It's the Vigil. Thank Balthazar, you're just in time. I'm Samuelson, Wade Samuelson, commander of Ascalon.
I'm War Master Kernson, and this is my new recruit. Give me a status report.
Here's the problem. A bunch of charr renegades smuggled explosives into the city. They're trying to blow up one of the outer walls. The Ebon Vanguard stopped the demolition team, but renegade forces are attacking everywhere, from here to the Central Plaza.
That sounds like a blood-covered mess, Commander. How can we help?
We have to get to the city Central Plaza. Turn right, head down the road and through the crossing. You'll see a big statue at the center of the square. Once we take the square, the Vanguard can do the rest. But without a rally point, we're falling apart.
Who are these renegades? What do they want with Ebonhawk?
They're charr who disobeyed the orders of the High Legions. These idiots would rather die than make peace with humans, and they're dangerous.
We'll capture the plaza, Commander, and teach a lesson to any renegades we find along the way. Ready, recruit? Move out.
So let's go ahead and head towards the Central Plaza.
The hell it will while I'm here.
And we can defeat any renegades that are along the way and recapture any locations that have been lost and help support any of the soldiers and rescue any of the civilians here in Ebonhawk. So looking off towards the northeast there, we can see the greater fields of ruins that we will be heading to very soon. But let's go ahead and re-secure the city right here. And we have some charr renegade right here who are members of the charr people who don't want the treaty to be signed between the humans and the charr, and they're basically disobeying the orders of the High Legions in order to basically kind of just go with what they believe is right for them, which is destroying all humanity basically. And it looks like they have launched a full-on assault of the city, so we can go ahead and fight back against them. And we have our first capture point right here that we can go ahead and retake.
Stand guard, form up and hold this area. We'll advance toward the crossing.
So let's go ahead and head over here where we will have another capture point. We can group up all the charr right here and then AoE them down with our great sword, except I messed it up right there. But I think we will be able to deal with them all anyways. And now we can head further into the city where we have the Central Plaza, which is the last capture point we have to take right here. And we can go ahead and deal with all the renegades that are right here. So it looks like we dealt with all the renegades and we recaptured Hawk's Heart.
Your timing was perfect, War Master Kernson. I can't thank you enough. The renegades are getting bolder. This is the first time they've ever tried to bomb the fortress from the inside.
New tactics may signify a new leader. You think they finally found a shot caller with half a brain?
Think it. I know it. He's a charr named Ajax Anvilburn, and that rotter's a thorn in my side.
Do you know anything about Anvilburn? Some way we could track him down and stop him?
Scouts tell us the renegades have a camp outside Ebonhawk, but my troops are tied up defending the treaty location. The Ebon Vanguard hasn't had a chance to check it, but if I had to guess, I'd say either he's there or his soldiers are.
We'll take a look, Commander. Ill-disciplined thugs like these should be easy to find.
So Ebonhawk is secured, and now we can go ahead and search the Fields of Ruins. Let's go ahead and select one of these items. I'll go ahead and pick this one. This is actually a massive upgrade to what we are currently wearing, so that is nice. And let's go ahead and leave the story mission and head towards our next one. So we can leave through the northern Hawk Gate right here, and we can go ahead and find the renegade camp that is in the siege plains, and we can take a look back behind us here and we can see Ebonhawk will now start fading away in the distance as we head further north into Ascalon. Of course, we've been pretty far north because the Plains of Ashford and the old city of Ren is way further north than this location, but we have a battle going on right here between the renegades and the Ebon Vanguard, and we have our story mission right here. So let's go ahead and hop into here. This is a really cool concept art of the northern wall of Ascalon, I believe, and let's go ahead and chat with Forgo and see what is going on in this area.
Hey there, kid. Remember to bring your weapon?
I'm ready to fight, and don't call me kid.
Got some spark in you, eh, recruit? Good to see. We'll need it if we're gonna stamp out these renegades. Get ready to move, and keep your voice low. If we're lucky, we can catch these bootjacks sleeping.
You really think we'll be lucky?
Kid, we both know that kind of luck doesn't exist. Still, try to take prisoners if you can. We'll need them to give us information if Anvilburn isn't there.
So we just run in there and yell, "Hello, bad guys, surrender or die"?
Look here, whelp. There's a time for strategy and there's a time for kicking the door down. We don't need tactics against this rabble. We just need force.
Yes, sir, War Master.
Right then. Don't worry about hello. Just skip straight to surrender or die. Now move out.
Let us move out, and we can head a little bit east here. We can help Forgo destroy the renegade camp. We have a farmer with a pack bow right there that we might want to defend just in case. But we have all the charr renegade right here, and it looks like they are sleeping. So let's go ahead and come in with force, and we can blow them up.
Is this some kind of kiddie playground?
And then we can go ahead and neutralize all of the renegades that are right around here. And another group of renegades right here. Forgo's just burning down all the tents. There might be some renegade inside, and yes, of course, there are 3 renegade right here. So let's go ahead and deal with them as well. And I'm going to assume that there are potentially renegades in that tent as well, and maybe Ajax Anvilburn is inside of this tent here. So let's go ahead and deal with these 2 charr renegade right here, and then we can help Forgo bring down the last tent right here. We have a named charr right here. So let's go ahead and deal with him really quickly, and then we should hopefully be able to take him as prisoner so we can find out where Ajax Anvilburn is.
Fight well. You shuck-brained cur. Where's Ajax Anvilburn? We know he's behind the attacks on Ebonhawk. Spill!
You just missed him. He left this morning. He's on his way to kill some worthless human named Duran. They're setting an ambush at Summit Peak. They'll kill Duran, then leave the bloody knife with old Steel Crusher. They're killing 2 peace lovers with 1 trap.
Ashes and snow. He means Minister Kent Duran, the Crichton ambassador. I bet Steel Crusher's the ambassador for the High Legions.
You're Vigil, aren't you? Ha! Ajax will be sorry he missed killing you. Tell his human-loving mother, Almora, that one day we'll spit on her grave.
Almora is Ajax's mother?
That's above your pay grade, recruit. Forget you heard anything about it.
Forget? I can't just forget. Don't you think that's important?
Whatever happened to discipline? Kids these days. All right, fine. But not here and not now. We'll talk about it later. Right now we have to evac before more renegades show up. Leave this coward to rot and die alone. Let's get back to Ebonhawk and warn Samuelson about Ajax's plan.
So chatting with Forgo, he says this isn't the time or place to discuss it, but yes, Ajax is Almora's son. She's aware of the complication, and the mission is still go. So we can ask, what's next? And he says we need to warn the delegation at Summit Peak that Ajax and his renegades are planning an attack. So let's do it. And then we can go ahead and report to Samuelson, and then we can also defend Summit Peak. So let's go ahead and grab these rewards, and then we can go ahead and meet Forgo on the road towards Summit Peak, which is right over here. So it looks like there are some separatists right here, but we're going to go ahead and let those people deal with it, and then we can join our story mission, Don't Shoot the Messenger. Then we have Forgo and a human right here. So let's go ahead and chat with Forgo and see what we have to do right here along this road.
Who are you people? Commander Samuelson didn't mention an escort, and you certainly don't look like Vanguard.
We're with the Vigil. We know about the attack planned for Minister Duran. We're here to make sure you reach him in time.
An escort? I'm a soldier of the Ebon Vanguard. I don't need babysitters.
We're not babysitters. We're tourists. Traveling the same road, taking in the same scenery, and beating the ever-living crap out of the same idiots as you. You look like a fine sergeant. Are you really gonna tell us where we can't go and who we can't beat up on such a nice day?
I have to get this message to the minister. I don't have time for this. Just keep up or I leave you behind. Head out for Summit Peak, and don't slow down. So Vigil's my escort? Fine. Just don't tell the rest of the Vanguard. I'll never hear the end of it.
If I'd had a daughter, she'd be a lot like Jane. Except smarter, stubborn. Careful. This has ambush written all over it.
So it looks like we have some renegade attacking us right here. So let's go ahead and defeat all of them. So we want to defend the Ebon Vanguard member here who is going to warn the ambassador about the incoming attack from Ajax Anvilburn and the renegades, because we want to make sure that we can protect the treaty negotiations that are going on right now.
Stay alert. Keep moving.
Because it is in our best interest for this treaty to be signed and for humanity and the Charr to come closer together so that they, alongside the Vigil and other races in the world, can fight against the Elder Dragons, and no renegades are going to be able to stop us and our path to make sure peace is found. So it looks like there are also some ogres ahead here. So
I see a survivor. Stand the line. We have to help her.
No, we can't risk it. If the ambassador is killed, many more lives will be lost.
You'd abandon your own soldiers?
We all knew the risk when we joined the Vanguard. Duty first.
So let's go ahead and fight against them. And we have a Charr renegade right here, so let's go ahead and deal with that renegade. It looks like Forgo is charging straight into the ogres right here, so we can go ahead and deal with them as well. They're both veteran ogres, so they have quite a bit of health, but fortunately we will be able to deal with them with relative ease. We haven't fought too many ogres yet in the series.
Ogres? The renegades are stirring up anything they can find just to send them at us.
So I might go ahead and just resurrect the soldiers since we are passing by. And then we will go ahead and continue along towards Summit Peak. There are quite a bit of ogres here in Ascalon, and Fields of Ruin focuses a lot on like the ogre storylines, so we'll be exploring more of them in the future. So there were some Charr renegades that were basically playing dead right here, and we can go ahead and defeat them, and we can actually make sure that they are actually dead this time. And then we are getting pretty close towards Summit Peak. You can see the bigger kind of grander tents showing up in the distance there, and then we have a very large one over there. So let's go ahead and make sure that this messenger does not die in the last little bit of the road we have to go through here. And then it looks like that we have successfully arrived here, and there are quite a few tents here, and they are actually pretty cool because they're like special, like Ebon Vanguard looking tents. You can kind of see like the eagle or hawk or whatever right there. But let's go ahead and meet with the charr and humans here.
Minister Duran, sir, please, it's critical that you hear this. Commander Samuelson sent me from Ebonhawk. You're both in terrible danger.
Danger? Slow down, Sergeant. Take a deep breath and tell me what's going on.
Ajax Anvilburn and his renegades are going to ambush you. They plan to assassinate Minister Duran and blame the attack on Ambassador Steelcrusher.
Well, we can't let that happen, can we? Duran, can you fight?
Not as well as a charr, but I can hold my own. We could take cover at Summit Peak up ahead. Having the high ground would be in our favor. The camp is a defensible location. If the renegades don't know we're prepared, we could turn the tables on them when they attack.
With all due respect, Minister, the best defense is usually a good offense. I recommend we find the traitor's base and destroy Ajax before he can strike.
The Vigil were the ones to uncover this plot. With due respect, sirs, I think we should let them decide if we choose ambush or assault.
So now we have a story mission in this chapter where we can defend this location or we can launch an assault. And I think I want to defend this location and defeat any renegades that attack it. So let's go ahead and go with Minister Duran's plan right here.
Excellent. Set up the defenses. I'll try to remember what my old swordmaster Bongo taught me.
So Swordmaster Bongo, that's kind of a cool reference about a character that I don't think we've met yet, but he is basically a person who trains nobles in Divinity's Reach on how to fight with a sword, and we kind of see that he interacts with Farron a little bit. But let's go ahead and get our reward here, and then we can go ahead and grab our another level up reward where we leveled up to level 45 now, and then we can meet with Forgo outside the diplomatic camp to defend it. I might go ahead and just run up here a little bit so I can grab this waypoint, and then let's go ahead and enter our story mission right here, Minister's Defense. And this is kind of a cool tree concept art with a human holding a spear, I believe.
Front and center, recruit. Stop sleeping on the job.
But let's go ahead and come up here, and we see that there are a ton of humans and charrs around here at Summit Peak. This is like the central meeting area, and we have some really cool characters right here. But let's go ahead and meet with the messenger here and then come up with a plan of defense.
Ajax and his renegades have surrounded the base of Summit Peak. They brought artillery and ground support.
Noted. Is our ambush ready?
We are doing what we can, but Ajax has twice the troops we expected.
Then we'll just have to fight twice as hard.
Well said. If it's too much for you Vanguard ninnies, me and the recruit can take on the whole posse of renegades by ourselves.
You're a mean old grunt, Forgle. Fine. You two hold the line and we'll act as backup. Good luck.
So let's go ahead and prepare our defenses, and then we can have her prepare an ambush, and we can have her, let's say, prepare an ambush along the eastern approach, I think.
We need to hold this position.
And then we can chat with Forgo, and then we can have some heavy gunners defending, let's go with the southern position.
Run! Now!
And then we can have some charr, I believe, defending the western position. So
Let's get started.
let's go ahead and get this all started, and we can defend the treaty grounds here.
The renegades are storming Summit Peak. The Ebon Vanguard needs our help, and they need it now.
Looks like we'll have to accelerate our schedule.
Good attitude. Move out, recruit. I'll be right beside you.
So let's go ahead and find where the renegade are coming in from. So they are coming in from the east ramp, so let's go ahead and rush over here. We can give ourselves some swiftness, and it looks like there is a bombardment right here, kind of trying to thin out our numbers, and we are not going to walk into that just yet. And we see a bunch of renegades right over there that are starting to come up here. I'm going to assume the bombardment's going to stop as they come in, so let's go ahead and charge in here really quickly, and we can try to group them up and basically just light them all on fire, and then do our special whirlwind attack here and obliterate all of them. And then we have another group coming in, which we can do the exact same thing against. So now there are renegades coming in from the south, so let's go ahead and rush over there very quickly, and we can defend them. And hopefully, as we thin out all of the renegades that are attacking at the Summit Peak right here, we can go ahead and see if Ajax Anvilburn is in this area, and we can neutralize that threat. Of course, that is a very interesting situation going on where basically Almora Soulkeeper has accepted a mission to eliminate her own son, which is very interesting. And of course, the son is detrimental to basically all the people of Tyria as the renegades seek to destabilize the peace in the world and kind of cause more division and prevent any amount of unity against the Elder Dragons. So as a member of the Vigil, we can go ahead and fight towards that unity, and we can go ahead and bring together with the 5 major races of the world, as well as some other races that we will get to meet in the next chapter, where we will be able to come together to fight against the Elder Dragons.
More renegades coming up the northwest path.
So let's go ahead and rush towards the western one now. We have defended the eastern side and the southern side. So let's go ahead and come towards this last side. And we see another bombardment coming in. So let's go ahead and wait this one out.
You couldn't even live in Ebonhawk if you did take it. It's got no scratching posts.
And then we can go ahead and charge through here and defeat any of the renegades. And we have some Iron Legion engineers here that are basically launching their own bombardments against the renegades here. And then we have Ajax and Wilburn right here alongside a ton of charr. So let's go ahead and buff ourselves up as much as we can. Kind of just launch all of our things here. That was our 500th killing with the Great Sword, which is really cool. And then we just have Ajax and Wilburn left right here.
Your mama wanted me to give you something. Right in the face.
I shall never bend my knee.
And then he is now at 20% health and is getting launched everywhere. And we can go ahead and end his life there. And now let's chat with our friends here.
We did it. I can't believe it. The renegades are beaten.
Don't act so surprised, Sergeant. It's downright insulting.
I don't understand these renegades. It's hard to believe anyone in Tyria would work against peace. With the dragons out there, we can't afford to be divided.
Some people can't see past their own noses. It's a good thing we can. This treaty will help even the odds against Zaitan. Count on it. You did well, recruit. You learn quickly, you adapt, and you know when to put hammer to steel. I wasn't sure I'd like you when we started this operation. Almora kinda twisted my arm to take you on. Said you were special. But damned if you didn't live up to every word she said. You aren't like the rest of these youngins hanging around the Order.
I'm field promoting you to Crusader, but don't let it go to your head.
I won't, old man. And thank you. It's an honor to work with you two.
Old man, huh? Don't push your luck.
So we have now been promoted to Crusader, and then we can go ahead and meet with Forgo at Vigil Keep. So with the treaty grounds being defended, and it seems to be safe now, and that the renegades have faced a massive defeat with their new leader being defeated, I think we can safely leave this area for now, and let's go ahead and return to Gendaran Fields. And then we can enter the Vigil headquarters right here with our story mission Crusaders Return, and then we can go ahead and speak with Forgo, who I believe is with Almora, and of course Laranthir the Wild, who basically helped Almora build the Vigil. So let's go ahead and chat with all of them and see what they have to say to their newly recruited Crusader.
Well done, recruit. You saved the treaty between Kryta and the Iron Legion.
I hope they manage to create a lasting peace, General. We can't defeat the dragons unless both nations work together. General, may I ask you a question? Ajax Anvilburn, he was your son, is that correct?
Stand down, Crusader. That's none of your...
No, War Master. I'll answer the question. After all the two of you went through, the Crusader deserves that much. Ajax was my son. As is our custom, I didn't raise him. I left him at the Farrar, and he found me again after my warband was slaughtered by a dragon. I tried to explain to him why I founded the Vigil, but he said I was wasting my time. He never really understood the threat the dragons pose. Like many in the legions, Ajax never looked beyond the charr. I will grieve for my son, but I will not look back.
I'm sorry for your loss, General, but Tyria is safer because of your sacrifices.
Thank you. I agree.
General Soulkeeper, I'd like to request that the Crusader be permanently assigned as my partner.
That's a surprise, Forgo. You going soft on me?
I don't have time to break in anyone else. All right, I admit it. We work well together.
Consider yourself so assigned. Crusader, I've briefed Forgel on some options for your next mission. Speak with him, and then decide.
So we can go ahead and chat with Forgel for our next mission, and he says, which of these tribal cultures would you like to aid? So we can go ahead and aid one of the tribal cultures around Tyria for our next story mission at level 50, chapter 5 of the personal story. So we can either say, we've always been curious about the Skrit, I've always wanted to swim with the Quaggan, and the Hylic are an enigma. Do we know much about them? And there are basically across all three of the orders, there are different combinations depending on what race you are of being able to help 5 tribal cultures. And of course, in this Let's Play series, we are going to go ahead and explore all 5 of them. But on our human character here, we're going to go ahead and help the Skrit. So let's go ahead and say I choose to help the Skrit.
Very well. I'll meet you by the feral dens.
And then when we start doing the personal story on this character again, we can go ahead and help out the Skrit. But let's go ahead and leave this headquarters. Actually, really quickly, I want to take a brief moment because not a lot of people actually explore this area. And we can come down here and you can see that there's a little bit of a meeting room right here, and we're actually kind of leaving the bounds right there. But then we can kind of come down here, and if we come into like the Vigil headquarters outside the story, we can fully explore this. But then there is a mess hall right here, which is really cool. But now let's go ahead and leave this area, and let's go ahead and open our mail right here. And Logan Thackeray says, congratulations, my friend. Word is spreading that you're quickly making yourself invaluable to your order. I'm pleased to see you're having so much success outside Kryta. I've heard that Ridlock and Air have been investigating the Ascalonian catacombs. Ascalonian is misspelled there. Zoja still fights for Snaf's legacy, while Kaith roams the Caledon forest, keeping her own counsel. Perhaps this whole thing was a mistake. I've spent some time considering what to do about Destiny's Edge, and to be honest, I'm not sure the situation can be salvaged. I made a choice to save Jenna, a choice I don't regret. So long as she needs me, I have to be there for her. If you need me, I will be attending a party at Ligged Minister Codicus' estate near Beetleton. The Queen may be in danger from that old spider, and I don't intend to allow him to succeed in stealing her throne. Logan. So let's go ahead and close that mail there. And just to give a little bit of context, we'll learn more about this in the future, but basically in Edge of Destiny, the members of Destiny's Edge, which also included Snaf at the time, went to the Crystal Desert and they met up with the prophetic dragon Glint, who is a very important character from Guild Wars 1, and basically they worked together to basically enact a plan to defeat Krokotoric, the Elder Dragon, who is the reason why the Vigil was born. And as they started to enact that plan, Jinna basically called for help from Logan Thackeray in order to defend Ebonhawk. So Logan ran away to go defend Ebonhawk, and then the plan was unsuccessful with Logan being gone and with Air's leadership there, where the Dragon Glint as well as Snaf lost their lives in that battle. But we'll learn more about that in the future. That's just a quick breakdown of what happened, so you can kind of see basically all the members of Destiny's Edge are frustrated with each other and mad at each other because of what happened with Snaf dying and Glint dying and their mission being a failure. But I think just for a few more minutes in this episode, we can go ahead and return to Ebonhawk here, and we can go ahead and explore the map a little bit more and do a little bit of map completion on this character, and then we will return on a new character to Fields of Ruins, not next episode, but the episode after that one, I believe. But then we can explore more of the Fields of Ruins there. But let's go ahead and chat with the scout here to see what is happening right outside the city here.
As part of our truce with the Charr, the legions have moved back from Ebonhawk, allowing us to establish new outposts. Tyler's bivouac is one of these, and they've run into some trouble getting their footing. It doesn't help that there are Charr renegades and human separatists that oppose the truce, seeking to keep the old war alive.
So let's go ahead and do these couple of missions right here, and I believe there's a vista right over here, so let's go ahead and come along the mountainside here, and we can go ahead and see what this area is like, and then we can do these 2 tasks and grab any of the points of interest around here. But we have Sniper's Woods and this vista. And then we can go ahead and drop down here, and we have this task right here where we can basically just defend all of the people here and fight back against any of the separatists and other predators around here. And there is a waypoint right here, and there are no points of interest, We can get that waypoint, and we have now leveled up to level 46. And let's go ahead and just clear out some of these monsters here. This area right here is kind of cool because we have all these griffin nests, and then we can see that there are some like Legion banners and some Ebon Vanguard shields right here and some Iron Legion shields. So very interesting that these griffins have kind of collected all this stuff and brought them back here towards their nest. And there's a bunch of other things as well, like helmets and some chest plates, and even some dead humans as well, which is a little unfortunate. And with this task complete right here, let's go ahead and run all the way over here towards the siege plains where we attack that renegade camp. And let's go ahead and help the Ebon Vanguard that are fighting against the renegades here and wipe them out again. So we have the battle going on right here. Let's go ahead and charge in, and then this looks like a nice group of renegades we can kind of just leap into, and we block that mortar attack right there, which is nice. And let's go ahead and just work our way through all the renegade ranks right here, and we can pick up any of these mortar shells and we can defeat any of the renegades we see. We also have a new trait line that we can learn. So if we come into our hero training right here, we're going to actually finish the current one that we were working on as well, and then we can pick up a second one. So I think I'll go ahead and just train these two right there, and then I guess we'll pick Valor, and I'll just put in as much as I can, which might be the entire thing we could actually do, so we can finish that. And then that actually was like perfect for the amount of hero points we had. And then I can pick to have spared weapons be more powerful, or whenever Aegis blocks foes we deal damage, or our strike damage is increased whenever a symbol hits foes. Let's go ahead and go with Symbolic Avenger there. And then I can pick not Zeal, I want to pick Valor right here. So this is kind of a more defensive and healing spec right here. So let's go ahead and go with loose conditions every interval, and then we have all of these minor ones right here that just kind of buff us up. And then we can go ahead and gain protection, and I think I'll go ahead and do that. And then we have this one right here where we can have one of these three, and I think I'll go with a meditation skill right here, which will heal us. So now we are a little bit more powerful, and we can go ahead and finish dealing with all the renegades right here. Also very interesting as well, the Separatists and the Renegades do fight each other because they hate each other, but they are also fighting the Charr and the humans as well. So it's kind of just like a very confusing mess where basically these two factions are at war with each other and then at war with the humans and the Charr as well. So they're not the smartest people in the world. And then with this task complete, let's go ahead and do one more, and we can head back towards the delegation area, and then we can go ahead and defend the human delegation right here against any threats. So there are some separatists in the camp here, so we can obviously deal with them. And I see a suspicious barrel over there that we can investigate, and it looks like it might have been a trap, but that is dealt with now. And then there are also some wasps around this area that we can go ahead and deal with. Honestly, might be a little bit worse than the separatists. I see a peculiar yellow flower, which I think is kind of needed in order. Oh, it's actually for an event. That's interesting. I'm not exactly sure what that's for, but I might go ahead and just get that out of my inventory. Also, I notice a cave right here, which I don't really remember there being a cave here, so let's go ahead and just take a quick detour and we can see what's in here. I think this leads towards ogre territory, but just coming into here really quickly, looks like there's just some iron ore, and then yes, this actually leads towards a charr camp, which I think we'll just go ahead and explore that the next time we come through here on our next character. Let's go ahead and deal with these wasps right here to finish the task. And with the task complete, I think I'm going to go ahead and just clean these two wasps up and then call this episode good here, where we have completed the first chapter of Act 2 of the Guild Wars 2 personal story, which is Chapter 4 of the Guild Wars 2 personal story. The first chapter involving the orders, and we basically kind of helped with the treaty here between the humans and the charrs, and we learned a lot more about the Vigil. And I hope you all enjoyed watching through this episode, and I also hope you all are taking good care of yourselves. Remember to drink some water, check your posture, and subscribe, and I'll see you next time in the world of Tyria. Goodbye.